Hello. I'm doing this video as a little midweek, another solo commissioner's corner. Last few guests have been pretty flaky on me. I can't say flaky, that's a bad thing, but I just haven't been able to connect. We'll make them all up. This week I actually have a wedding, so a little, not a lot of free time over the weekend, so I'm not going to be able to get Kevin on. And despite what you're seeing in the background, I'm not doing this from a shrine to my wife. I'm doing this from my in-laws' office, just to clear that up. I don't have pictures of my wife playing basketball all over my house, just so I don't look like a fool. So we'll make this one short and sweet. Just wanted to get something out to the loyal league members before we go into Thursday night's game. And my focus this week, has been touched upon in a previous video, is thoughts on trading. And I just want to read some excerpts from one of my favorite analysts, Matthew Berry's yearly column that he puts out, and hopefully we can take this to heart. Ready? And this is trademarked in case YouTube reports me here. It's from Matthew Berry's column on ESPN from, I don't know when it was posted, but it's posted every year at some point because this stuff always comes up. Here we go. I hate the veto. It's the coward's way out. If I was suddenly made the ruler of all things fantasy, there would never be a veto, except in cases of obvious, provable collusion. And in that case, only the commissioner or host website for the league should wield that power. Understand these two key things. The art of negotiating is a skill in fantasy. It's part of running a fantasy team, a huge part, in fact. It's a skill that's admired and sought after in real-life general managers, so why should this be any different? And second, it is not your job to coach somebody else's team. I don't care if you think that tight end isn't nearly good enough for that quarterback-running back combo. The only thing that matters is that the guy getting the tight end thinks so. Everyone should be allowed, encouraged in fact, to coach their own team, even if it's stupidly. Because I have news for you. No one ever knows. And then he goes into this story about how he traded Kurt Warner for Brett Favre or something. But let me get another good excerpt here. Veto the veto. You've heard me say this before, but until this miscarriage of justice is abolished, you're going to keep hearing it. Unless you can prove actual collusion, no trade should ever be vetoed. It's not your job to manage someone's team for them. Everyone should be allowed to manage their own team their own way, even if you don't agree with it, even if it's badly. Okay? I don't want to read that again, but let's just take those words to heart. Again, you've joined this league with the understanding that some managers aren't as good as you or aren't as good as you think you are. And I've said, and we'll say it again, any manager who I've invited to this league is going to stay in until they don't start taking care of their team. And I've addressed that with some of the offenders. Steve, I'm talking to you. I don't know if you'll see this, but we talked about this. I have no issue with the trades that you make, even if I disagree with them or think, I certainly wouldn't make them or think you could have done more. If you want to manage your team in a way that I disapprove of, I don't care. That's not the standard. My opinion doesn't matter. It's as long as you're managing your own team. Now, the other part of that is starting injured players is not part of that deal. You have to be current. You have to set your lineup. You can't lose on purpose. You can't send guys to whatever. And I talked with Steve, and he offered some justification for both of his deals. I agree with one of the deals that he made is not super unfair. The other one I don't agree with, but again, it's not my team. I invited Steve into this league because I want to play against him. I don't think he cheats. I have no excuse for him starting an injured player. I certainly hope that would not happen again because it led directly to him losing a matchup that is now probably going to keep him out of the playoffs. I'm sure it's how it always works out. But as long as you're keeping track of your team, you're setting your lineup, you're doing what you want to do, you're not cheating, you're not sending players for free, you're not losing on purpose. I've got no issue with any of that. I can't deal with this every fucking year. Yet I do. And it just bores me every single year. We've been over this. I go over it every single time. And here's what it is. I didn't put a gun in anybody's head to join this league. I have no issue if you don't want to play in the future. I think I do a pretty good job of entertaining the masses. I think it's, for the most part, a pretty fun league. And I think for the most part, like every league you'll be in, there are managers that really know what they're talking about. There are managers that probably don't. And then there's a group in the middle that, have some bad decisions and good decisions. I've certainly been a part of both of those groups, all three of those groups, in fact. And that's what you deal with in any league. I don't know what some people want. Like, do you want a league where everybody's just going to manage teams like you would manage it? Just go create 10 email addresses and play in your own stupid thing and do your own thing. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And then coupled on the fact, I have to find out that my best receiver isn't playing this weekend for personal reasons. Now I'm going to feel like an asshole if this is actually something really bad, but I wouldn't want to play for the Falcons either, so I get it. But Calvin Ridley, man, you're killing me right now. You're killing me. I'm on a little winning streak, and now I got to deal with this, and this is just tough for me. I don't have a lot more to say. I mean, let me give a quick little league page viewing in case I can do something here. You know what? Let me weigh in on both trades that have been made recently for Steve. And I'll tell you exactly why I have no issue with it. So John's trade, everybody had an issue with that. I don't really get it. But DeAndre Swift is like a surefire running back one on a team that throws the ball to him because they're down by 40 every single game. Zach Wilson's a bad quarterback, but a quarterback nonetheless. And Dawson Knox has a touchdown, I think, every game he's played. And in return, the wide receiver one, although I'd be willing to bet a pretty good amount of money, he's not going to end as the wide receiver one. And given his significant injury history, it's not like this is a sure thing slam dunk. And then Zach Moss, we'll call it a 50-50 split on a team that really doesn't run the ball very much. So I don't know what the big contention is. Now, Mac Jones for A.J. Brown, not a trade I would have made personally, and I told Steve that. But again, it's not the standard. The standard isn't does Eddie approve? Does whoever approve? The standard is, do you think it's best for your team? Is there a reason you want that? Do you want to root for Mac Jones? It's all good. I understand that. I'm cool with it. If you want to lose your $50 because you make bad trades, it doesn't matter to me as long as you're not cheating with somebody else. I think I've never seen a team as stacked as K-Max is, and obviously he hit on a few of the preseason receivers that have turned out to just be absolute studs. Like, you get Mike Williams playing like legitimately the wide receiver one in the league right now, and Deebo Samuel is literally playing like the wide receiver one in the league. And I'll just go through his players' positional rankings right now. Tom Brady, 3. Deebo Samuel, 3. Tyreek Hill, 2. Mike Williams, 5. Daniel Jones, 5. Danny Dimes, number 5. And that's with Justin Fields not even just getting the starting job right there. What a fucking team. Now I know, K-Max history will suggest this may not sustain itself. But right now you got to say he's got a pretty good stranglehold on the eventual championship, and we'll just see how it goes. I wish everybody a great week of football. As always, my guest next week, and again, I hate to just, breathe on the mic while I look at my schedule here, but I want to see who I'm owed to catch up with. I have to do interviews with Jason, Haskins, John, Kevin Wenth, and next week's guest is Claire, and we'll see if we can make that happen. The week after that will be Steve, so I'm sure that'll be a must-see episode as I grill him about his deals. But all good. We'll get those people on camera, even for a 5-minute cameo if we want. As always, enjoy. Everybody, calm the fuck down and just play fantasy football, man. Relax, enjoy it. It's a fantasy platform. If you want some perspective, go have a baby and then start worrying about fantasy football. It just doesn't happen like that. All right, I know I used to be super intense about it. I still love it. I'm still very competitive, but you'll never catch me complaining about, or at least complaining loudly about fantasy football anymore. It just doesn't matter that much. All right, everybody enjoy. To everybody but acknowledge me. All the teams except for acknowledge me. I hope you lose. But yeah, catch you guys next week.